Hello and welcome to the Revetalized Podcast. My name is Brett Endies. I am a professional dog trainer. I've been doing that for 30 years. And recently, just 3 weeks ago, I got accepted to veterinary school. And I signed that acceptance letter. So I'm going to start in January. And this podcast, I'm not going to have the same intro every time, but explaining it as I do in every beginning. This is to share my journey with you, to help you follow, learn what it's like going through vet school. Someone is an adult student, someone at my age doing this, and someone who's in the pet professions segueing into some other kind of new version of that as a veterinarian, hopefully in about 4 years from now. I always ask, please, to support me. It always helps to just subscribe to this. Go on my social media, both at The Dog Savant. I also have a podcast called The Dog Savant Podcast. On Instagram, I have Revetalized, and then I have The Dog Savant in most other places. Follow my Patreon, Revetalized. Support me any way you can. It really helps me because I'm going to be having to pay my way through school. And any support, even just someone giving me some advice, you got it, guy, anything like that, is, again, I appreciate it all. So thank you for everyone who's done that so far. And thank you in advance for people that are going to continue to support me. So yeah, let me talk about, I always mention my chat GPT notes. They give me good ideas for episodes. And I recorded this episode the other day. And then when I went to go upload it, I realized that there was no audio. So hopefully the audio works this time. Fingers crossed. So what I'm going to talk about, and remember, I'm doing this by myself. It's not easy to just keep thinking of something to say. I'm not like writing a script. I'm just thinking of something and saying it, if that, right? So this one was it was why I didn't go to vet school in the first place. And I did mention kind of the trajectory in last episode, how I ended up, kind of taking the route I did working with dogs as a trainer. Um, and why now I decided to apply, but why it didn't happen both the first and the time before that. So let me talk about it. So the first time I was 18, I went to school, the University of Northern Colorado. I grew up in New York. I went to high school in Long Island, Syosset. If you look it up, you'll see other people that are, a lot of people went there that are known. And it's a high achieving school, but I was a low achiever in a high achieving school. So I guess compared to the average kid in America, I got a good education, but I really didn't apply myself. But I went to college. I don't think anyone in my school didn't go to college of some sort. I love snowboarding, so I went to Colorado. I really wasn't interested in school. I just knew that if I went there, it was a way to get my parents to pay for me to go to Colorado, and I could find a way to snowboard. Um, I was also smart enough to figure things out. So although I didn't apply myself, I did graduate. I didn't graduate, but I got C's, right? So I passed my courses. I went for a year. I realized that wasn't for me. Then some time went. I actually ended up starting to work at vet clinics and started a pet sitting business. And I've told this whole story, so I don't want to get too redundant, but it ended up where I started making a living. And when you're making a living and you're like, well, I'm still around animals, why go back to school? That was too much work. But always in my mind, I was dissatisfied. Realized I got a little friend helper here. I got my little. She's gonna be my co-host today. So I just knew in the back of my mind, but it's just let it go, right? You're happy. At least I did something that I love, and I'm also helping and contributing to dogs and society. But I wanted more. So I tried again when I was in my late 20s. I went back to school just to finish my bachelor's, and I went for about 2.5 years back at the SUNY Old Westbury in Long Island, New York. SUNY is a state University of New York school system where, when I was a resident there at the time, you get discounted tuition, and it's schools and access to getting everywhere. And I transferred those credits I took when I was younger over, and I went for my degree in science because I wanted to, again, become a veterinarian. And I ended up meeting someone, and she got pregnant. I had a kid, so I had to wrap that up quick. I ended up with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. And then again, I just use it as just kind of a little bit more understanding of the human end of the leash, more understanding learning theory, psychopharmacology, and just, kind of just giving me a little bit more credibility as a dog trainer. I'm beyond a high school education, if you will. And that was it, right? For what, 20 years? I'm 50, so about 20 years. And I'm just getting knocked out of my living room. We have to give you a bath and groom today. Too rainy to get shit. Sorry. Fresh girl. So yeah, so I just, took on life. And then recently, like I said, I was talking to my daughter. She's in school. She's a sophomore. And she was getting frustrated and just jokingly said, oh, I'll apply to vet schools. And I did. And I got accepted. But again, why didn't I go at the time? Let's just briefly, right? It's not that long a story. Don't make it over dramatic. When I was younger, I was too mature. I partied too much. I wasn't interested in school. I wanted to snowboard and I wanted to make friends and drink and all that good stuff. When I was older, I was dedicated. I graduated with honors. I had a 3.61. I was a member of the Psi Chi Honor Society, which I think was a direct contributor to why I was able to get accepted this time around. And the fact that they even looked at my transcripts from over 2 decades ago, um, right? I'm really glad because I'm lucky. I don't think I could have gone for 4 more years of school before going to vet school. So yeah, so that was what happened. I had a child in life, and I had to survive. I had to make my living. Now that my daughter's on her own, she's more independent. I have done things I need to do. I've established things, and that's why I'm working diligently at creating more online content. I have books coming out, online dog training courses, online training sessions, which I've been doing those for years, but I'm going to be shifting primarily to those. And then I'm going to be doing workshops in between my semesters of school here in California and probably in some other places as well where I can train dogs in real world and help people with some of their more severe problem behaviors. Once I get my master's degree here over the next two semesters, starting January, I'm going to do more health coaching and wellness coaching for dogs. So yeah, so I'm just going to really, and again, the way that you help me is I'm not asking for any free handouts, donations. I just want you to utilize the online resources that I can provide to you, both virtually, things that are already pre-created like books and courses, and talking to me if you want to do Zoom sessions. I'm going to do some kind of like membership programs where people can do like monthly meetups where we all get on a Zoom and so I had to swallow a peanut there. Work through all of our like dogs problems and issues. So yeah, so that's kind of why. You know what? I'm going to go into like the next thing because that was pretty quick, right? Like I don't know, the hardest. It is the hardest decision of my life not to go, but the harder decision was deciding to go at this age. I'm all in, but it was a very tough. That week when I got accepted was tough. I know this knot. I'm going nuts with that knot. I want to get that knot out of you. We're going to do some grooming. Oh yes. Look at this sweetie. Look at that sweetie. Okay, you stay there. What it's like to be a vet and why many quit. I think I'm going to save that because that's too off topic, and I'd like to get guests for this. I'm thinking about getting some guests too. Um, well, this one though, it said, "Would I still consider going to vet school?" ChatGPT, you got to know me better. I'm going to vet school. Um, oh, let's see. A lot of this is just things that are more topical to like guests. I should have looked through the costs of veterinary care. I don't. It's not my level of area. I can talk behavior, but that's what the Dog Savant podcast for. Well, here, looking back and moving forward, what's next for me? We'll talk about that. So for me, I'm going to be studying really hard. Right after I get off this podcast, I'm going to go back to it. I have a Zoom client at 3 o'clock, so for a couple hours, I'm going to study. It really is just getting myself as prepared so I can keep pace with the workload, the need to continue to work and manage a business while I'm going to school, beyond full time. So that's really what I'm kind of having next for me is a lot of hard work in the next 10 months while I'm here in California, still able to do as much real world training as I can, building this base, working on my books, my online courses, and all that again while I have the opportunity and time and ability, and just studying. I mean, if you want, I show these books every time. I got medical terminology. The stand is on organic chemistry, biophysics, biochemistry, um, regular physics MCAT book just for studying. Yeah, I got notes and molecule models. Here, let's look at my molecule model. Right. What's a podcast? Right. I'm sharing myself, so I'm gonna just be me and be a little ADHD. I haven't even opened it yet, really. I've taken it. Let's make let's make carbon together. How about that? That'll be fun. So I know here's my carbon. Carbons. If anyone knows anything about organic chemistry, I don't know. When they say OChem, people call it OChem. It sounds like something sexual. I don't know. Oh, chem. Just I don't know, organic. Okay. Do these fit, or am I making the wrong bonds? Here we go. One, two, three, four. Okay. Should we make? I don't know if I'm going to do this right. We'll do C4. C4. One. I hope you can see this. I don't even know if I'm doing it right. Oh gosh. Oh, I see. I've never done a molecule model. These have different angles. There we go. No, it's not going to go that way. Well, let me try something else. I'll make something pretty. CO2. So, say this is oxygen. O2. And this would be, how do you represent double bonds? Maybe CO2. Yeah, I guess it's just going to be that. Carbon to oxygen. Let's cross-reference it. I don't think I have anything I can do with my, but here, I can go on my laptop. Isn't this the most interesting podcast in the world? I could talk your ears off when it comes to dog behavior, but I choose not to because I need a break from it and I need to talk about science and vet medicine. Oh wait, I have a new a new password. Yeah, big moment. I guess since I share personal stuff, I deleted all my ex's stuff out of this laptop I used to share finally after almost 3 years. Not out of sentiment, I just didn't have time or know how, and I had to because I'm using my laptop so much. CO2. So it's good now. I don't get her reminders for her IUD and things that like are not my life. And this is not recent. Yeah, look at that. It's red. I should use the red one. Okay, let me learn right. But I'm not. I'll put this. I'll show you. I did her good. I did her good. Look at that. I mean, this is basic stuff. I know. Don't give me shit. I know a little more than this, but I've never used a molecule model, and I've never touched a molecule. Here we go. And it's a double bond, but they don't. I don't. I got to look up. I don't know how to show it. Maybe this is a double bond, right? I understand. So it's a double bond. 4 bonds on this carbon, and I don't know. Is this like is this podcasty? People do that shit. People, people. I don't know. Hopefully, someone finds and appreciates this podcast. This is just how I am. I'm just a weird 50, almost 51-year-old autistic man who gets very happy at things that I don't know. Most people my age don't really find as priorities. Oh well, I'm at peace. It's just when I make my molecules now. I have a new fun thing to learn and play with. Look at that. A few years ago, it was traditional archery. Whatever it is, anyway. I'll share everything about me. Give me time. Okay, so that was that. But yeah, basically, I just chose life, and it wasn't a choice. I had to do it what the right thing was. I had to survive and support my child, and I still felt that because I was making a living in the pet industry. Why not, right? This was not something on my radar at all. That's what's so cool about it. Okay, thank you again for following me on this new journey, the Revetalized Podcast. Also, go to my other podcast, The Dog Savant. And please just subscribe to this, share, send me messages, sign up for my online offerings. I promise I'll give you value. Thank you.